The warning signal. The quantum array beneath Mount Cheyenne hadn't made a sound in 15 years. Dr. Sarah Chen had grown used to the silence, the soft hum of cooling systems, and the gentle click of maintenance drones, the only accompaniment to her late-night work sessions. That's why when the first signal came through, she almost missed it. Almost. The holographic display above her desk flickered, numbers cascading in impossible patterns. Sarah's cup of coffee slipped from her fingers, shattering on the floor as she stared at the incoming data. The quantum computer was processing something. Something big. System, full analysis, she commanded, her voice steady despite the trembling in her hands. Wake Protocol Omega. Authorization Chen 7 Delta. The facility came alive around her, lights brightening as secondary systems engage. Within moments, her chief engineer Marcus Rodriguez burst through the door, still pulling on his lab coat. "Doc, what's happening?" "The quantum signatures are off the charts." Sarah's fingers danced across the holographic interface, pulling apart streams of data. "It's a signal, Marcus, but not like anything we've seen before. The quantum entanglement patterns, they're not random. This is communication." "That's impossible," Marcus breathed, leaning over her shoulder. "The only other quantum array of this sophistication is in Beijing," Sarah finished. "And I already checked. This isn't them." She pulled up a new display, showing the signal's origin. "This is coming from somewhere near the Horsehead Nebula, approximately 1,500 light-years away." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity wasn't alone, and whoever was out there had mastered quantum communication. Within an hour, the facility's conference room was packed with the world's leading scientists, connected via secure quantum channels. Dr. James Morrison, head of the Global Science Council, appeared as a hologram at the head of the table. "Dr. Chen," his voice was grave, "what exactly are we looking at?" Sarah stood, projecting the signal pattern above the table. "It's a warning," she said simply. "Once we cracked the basic encoding, the message became clear. There's an organization called the Nexus Federation approaching Earth, but not to make friends." She paused, letting the translated text float in the air. *To the inheritors of soul. They come in silver ships, bearing false promises. Your star has been marked for harvest. What they cannot control, they destroy. You have 3 months. Prepare or perish. The scattered asterisk. 3 months, Morrison muttered. "Can we trust this?" "The quantum signatures are genuine," Sarah replied. "Whoever sent this has technology at least as advanced as ours. Maybe more so. But that's not the most interesting part." She pulled up another display, showing a series of complex equations. Hidden in the signal was this: complete blueprints for a technology we've been trying to crack for decades. Marcus stepped forward. "It's a quantum camouflage system," he explained. "A way to hide energy signatures on a massive scale. If this works, we could mask everything we've built." And they had built so much. While the world went about its business, organizations like theirs had been preparing for this moment for generations. The public saw a moderately advanced civilization, just beginning to explore space. They didn't know about the quantum computer networks hidden in bunkers across the globe, or the swarms of self-replicating machines quietly building something massive in the asteroid belt. Morrison's hologram flickered as he leaned forward. How long to implement the camouflage system? Sarah ran the calculations quickly. With the quantum networks, 2 months. Maybe less if we divert resources from Project Starweaver. "Do it," Morrison ordered. "And Sarah, activate the Omega Protocol. It's time to wake everything up." The meeting ended, but Sarah stayed behind, staring at the warning message. Marcus placed a hand on her shoulder. "You okay, Doc?" She nodded slowly. 15 years ago, they called me crazy. Said building quantum computers on this scale was wasteful. That hiding our true capabilities would hold us back. She smiled tightly. "Looks like paranoia paid off. High above Earth, Invisible to conventional sensors, millions of tiny machines stirred to life. In underground bases and secret facilities, systems that had been running at minimal power began to wake. Humanity had been preparing for this moment without even knowing it. The next day, as Sarah walked through the facility's lower levels, she heard the quantum arrays sing again. This time, it wasn't a warning. Other facilities were coming online, sharing data, coordinating. Humanity's hidden strength was awakening. In her office, she pulled up the latest satellite feeds. To normal observers, Earth would appear as it always had, a civilization just beginning to reach for the stars. But Sarah could see the truth. The quantum readings showed a planet buzzing with hidden power, with technology carefully concealed from prying eyes. "They think they're coming to harvest a primitive world," she murmured to herself. "They're in for one hell of a surprise." Marcus appeared in her doorway. "Beijing facility is online. Luna Base just confirmed full activation. The camouflage system is already at 20% coverage." Sarah nodded, pulling up a new set of calculations. "Good. Send word to Director Morrison. Tell him." She paused, choosing her words carefully. "Tell him the silent stars are about to get very loud indeed." As she worked through the night, implementing the new camouflage systems, Sarah couldn't help but wonder about their mysterious benefactors. Who were the scattered? Why help Earth? But those were questions for another time. Right now, they had a planet to prepare. In the depths of space, undetected by any conventional means, silver ships were already approaching. The Nexus Federation was coming, expecting to find a primitive civilization, ripe for conquest or destruction. They would find something else entirely. The quantum array hummed softly in the background as Sarah began implementing the final stages of humanity's greatest deception. Soon, very soon, the galaxy would learn that appearances could be deceiving. And humanity. Humanity was very, very good at keeping secrets. First contact protocol. The silver ships appeared on a Tuesday morning, hanging in the sky like polished mirrors. 7 of them, each larger than Manhattan, positioned in perfect geometric formation above major cities across the globe. The world held its breath, but Sarah Chen just checked her watch. "Right on schedule," she muttered, watching the quantum readings from her underground command center. The camouflage system was holding perfectly. To the alien sensors, Earth would appear to be exactly what they expected. A developing civilization barely reaching for the stars. "All facilities report ready," Marcus announced from his station. "Quantum network is masked and stable. Project Starweaver remains undetected." He paused, looking up at the massive holographic display showing the alien vessels. "Think they bought it?" Sarah's response was cut off by the global broadcast that suddenly overtook all communication channels. A figure appeared on screens worldwide. Tall, silvery-skinned, with 4 arms and a face that seemed to shift like liquid metal. "People of Earth," the alien spoke, its words automatically translated by their quantum AI systems. "I am High Commander Vexthor of the Nexus Federation. Your world has been chosen for evaluation and potential integration into our grand alliance of civilizations." Sarah watched as the alien continued its rehearsed speech about peace and cooperation. The quantum computers were already analyzing every nuance, every subtle inflection. Their conclusions matched her own. This was a carefully crafted deception. "Director Morrison is ready for the meeting," Marcus reported. "Beijing, Luna Base, and all other facilities remain in shadow protocol." The first diplomatic meeting was set for United Nations headquarters in New York. Sarah adjusted her simple business suit, deliberately chosen to reinforce the image they wanted to project. As Earth's leading quantum physicist, officially just a theoretical researcher, she would be part of the welcoming delegation. High Commander Vexthor towered over the human representatives, its silver skin rippling with bioluminescent patterns. 2 other alien species flanked it, one that appeared to be made of crystalline structures, and another that seemed more plant than animal. "We have reviewed your technological progress," Vexthor announced, its tone condescending. Your advancement rate is adequate. With proper guidance, you might achieve space-faring status within a few centuries. Sarah caught Morrison's subtle nod. Time for Phase 2. We're honored by your assessment. Sarah spoke up, her voice clear and steady. Though I'm curious about your scanning methods, what frequency range do you typically employ? The crystalline alien, introduced as Science Minister Kirtle, shifted slightly. Our quantum-based scanners are beyond your current understanding. Human. They are completely accurate and undetectable. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. Quantum-based. How fascinating. We've only recently begun theoretical work in that field. Though, she paused, pulling out a small device. We did manage this simple prototype. The device hummed to life, projecting a basic quantum field. Nothing special, about 100 years behind their actual technology. But the alien's reaction was immediate and satisfying. Kirtle moved forward, crystal structures chiming in apparent excitement. Impossible. Your civilization shouldn't have quantum manipulation capabilities for at least another century. We're quick learners, Sarah replied modestly. She could see the calculation happening behind Vexthor's shifting features. Their carefully laid plans were already adjusting. The meeting continued, a delicate dance of revealed and hidden knowledge. The Federation representatives grew increasingly agitated as more prototype technologies were casually demonstrated, each one carefully chosen to suggest rapid advancement while concealing humanity's true capabilities. Back in the facility, Sarah reviewed the quantum readings from the encounter. They're scanning everything now, she noted, trying to figure out how they missed these developments. Marcus grinned. Good thing we're giving them exactly what they expect to find. Speaking of which, he pulled up a new display. Project Starweaver just completed another section. The whole system is ready whenever we need it. Sarah nodded, but her attention was on another set of readings. They're not just scanning for technology, she said quietly. They're looking for something specific. Run a deep analysis on their search patterns. The quantum computers worked for hours, correlating data and analyzing patterns. When the results came through, Sarah felt her blood run cold. They're looking for quantum shielding signatures, she announced to the emergency council meeting. The same type the Scattered warned us about. According to these readings, the Federation has encountered this technology before, right before they destroyed 3 other civilizations. Morrison's hologram flickered. You think the Scattered were survivors, Sarah finished. They warned us because they've seen this before. The Federation finds developing civilizations, evaluates them, and if they show signs of quantum shielding technology, they eliminate the potential threat, Marcus concluded grimly. Sarah pulled up the latest scans of the Federation ships, but they've never encountered anyone who saw them coming, never dealt with a civilization that had time to prepare. She smiled, but there was no warmth in it. And they certainly haven't met anyone who's already built what we have. How long until they realize their scans are being fed false data? Morrison asked. A week, maybe less, Sarah replied. They're already suspicious. Each prototype we reveal makes them look harder. Soon they'll try to prove their superiority, probably with a show of force against a smaller nation. Then we have to move faster, Morrison decided. Dr. Chen, you have authorization to proceed with Phase 3. Let's show them exactly why humanity kept its best works hidden in the dark. As the meeting ended, Sarah walked to the quantum array room. The massive computer hummed with power, its capabilities still masked by their camouflage systems. Above her, hidden from both Earth and their alien visitors, humanity's greatest achievement continued to grow. Send the signal to all facilities, she ordered. Begin Phase 3 initialization. Authorization, Chen 9 Echo. Throughout the solar system, hidden quantum networks pulsed with new energy. In the asteroid belt, swarms of machines accelerated their work, and in installations across the globe, humanity's hidden power began to stir. The Federation thought they were dealing with an emerging civilization. They were about to learn that humanity had emerged long ago. They'd just been waiting for the right moment to show it. The hidden edge. The quantum alert came at 3 a.m. Sarah was already awake, reviewing data streams from Project Starweaver, when her systems detected the Federation ships moving into attack formation over Jakarta. "Right on schedule," she murmured, initiating Phase 3 protocols. "Marcus, are you seeing this?" "Already on it," his voice came through the quantum link. "Beijing facility confirms they're ready. Luna base standing by." Above Jakarta, the Federation's flagship began powering up its weapon systems. High Commander Vexthor's voice boomed across all communication channels. "People of Earth, we have detected concerning anomalies in your technological development. For the safety of the galaxy, we must conduct a thorough evaluation of your capabilities. Please do not resist." Sarah opened a secure channel to Director Morrison. "They're making their move. Permission to proceed." Morrison's response was immediate. "Show them what humanity can do, Dr. Chen. But remember, we only reveal what we must." Sarah's fingers danced across the quantum interface, initiating sequences that had been prepared for decades. Across the globe, hidden facilities hummed to life. But it was what lay beneath the lunar surface that would change everything. The Federation ships had just begun their descent when their sensors detected something impossible. A quantum signature erupted from the moon's dark side. Massive, complex, and far beyond what Earth should have been capable of producing. "What is this deception?" Vexthor's voice crackled through the emergency channel. "Your civilization cannot possess such technology." Sarah opened a direct quantum link to the Federation flagship. The alien's surprise at the communication method was palpable. "High Commander," she spoke clearly, "I suggest you scan the lunar surface more carefully. What you're detecting is merely the surface layer of what we call the Luna Quantum Network." On cue, the Lunar Quantum Computer Complex revealed itself fully. A network of processors stretching through tunnels and caverns beneath the moon's surface, all interconnected and operating at capabilities that made the Federation's quantum systems look primitive. "Impossible," the crystalline science minister Krtol chimed in. "Our scans showed no signs of this development." "Of course they didn't," Sarah replied, allowing herself a small smile. "We didn't want them to. But since you're so interested in evaluating our capabilities, let me show you something else." She sent a signal through the quantum network. In the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, something stirred. Millions of tiny machines, previously invisible to all detection, revealed themselves. They were assembling something massive. "Project Starweaver," Sarah announced. "Though I suppose we can drop the code name now. What you're seeing is the early stages of our Dyson swarm. Currently at 15% completion, with new components being manufactured and assembled continuously." The Federation ships had frozen in place, their weapons powered down. Sarah could almost feel their confusion and fear through the quantum link. They had come expecting to find a primitive civilization, only to discover they had walked into the lair of a technological giant that had deliberately hidden its strength. "But our surveys," Krtol began, "were exactly as accurate as we wanted them to be." Marcus cut in, joining the transmission. "The quantum camouflage system you detected, that wasn't a prototype. It was a fraction of our actual capabilities, shown to you because we wanted to see how you'd react." Sarah pulled up the historical data they'd gathered on the Federation. "We know about the other civilizations you've destroyed. The ones that developed quantum shielding technology. The scattered warned us about you." The silence that followed was deafening. Finally, Vexthor spoke, their voice lacking its earlier condescension. "You've been in contact with the scattered. They reached out to us," Sarah confirmed, "just as they probably tried to warn the others before you destroyed them. The difference is, we were ready. We've been ready for a very long time." To demonstrate her point, Sarah activated another system. Across the solar system, quantum sensors revealed themselves. Some were attached to asteroids, others floating freely in space, an entire network of surveillance devices that had been watching the Federation's every move since they entered the solar system. Your ships, Sarah continued, use a quantum-based propulsion system that's quite impressive. But did you notice that your quantum field harmonics have been slightly off since you arrived? We've been subtly interfering with them, testing your capabilities. We could have disabled your ships at any time. The Federation vessels began to move, attempting to regroup into a defensive formation. Sarah let them. She had one more card to play. Before you consider any aggressive action, she said calmly, you should know that what you're seeing is only what we're choosing to show you. Project Starweaver isn't just about building a Dyson swarm. Would you like to see what else we've been working on? At her command, quantum fields shifted across the solar system. Hidden installations on Mars, Venus, and several moons revealed themselves. But more importantly, the true extent of the Dyson swarm became clear. It wasn't at 15% completion as they'd claimed. It was at 85%. Millions upon millions of solar collectors and quantum processors, all working in perfect harmony, all previously invisible to Federation sensors. The combined energy output was staggering, enough to place humanity firmly in the category of a Type Io civilization on the Kardashev scale. How? Krital's crystalline form vibrated with distress. How did you hide all this? The same way we hide everything else, Sarah replied. With patience, planning, and the understanding that sometimes the best defense is to let your adversaries underestimate you. Now, shall we discuss the terms of our actual relationship with the Federation? As equals this time. The Federation ships remained motionless in Earth's orbit as the full implications sank in. They had come to evaluate a primitive civilization, only to find themselves face to face with a technological power that had outmaneuvered them at every turn. And somewhere in the vast expanse of space, the scattered were watching, waiting to see if their warning had finally helped save a civilization from the Federation's destructive pattern. The challenge. The Federation Council's transmission arrived precisely 24 hours after humanity's revelation. Sarah watched their holographic forms materialize in the quantum conference chamber, now relocated to the lunar facility. The Federation representatives no longer towered over them. The quantum projections placed everyone at equal height, a small but deliberate choice. Your deception cannot be tolerated, First Speaker Zarek announced, their energy form pulsing with barely contained anger. The Federation maintains peace through transparency and controlled advancement of species. Sarah exchanged glances with Director Morrison before responding. Transparency. She gestured, and the quantum computers displayed records of the civilizations the Federation had destroyed. Like the transparency you showed to the Centauri Collective, or the Helios Consortium. All civilizations that developed quantum technology independently, all mysteriously destroyed by natural disasters. Those losses were regrettable but necessary. High Commander Vexthor interjected. Uncontrolled advancement leads to chaos. The Federation must maintain order. Order through subjugation, Marcus muttered, but his voice carried clearly through the quantum field. The crystalline science minister Krital chimed in agitation. You don't understand the dangers, Krital insisted. Quantum technology, when developed without proper guidance, can lead to innovations you never imagined. Sarah interrupted. She initialized a new display sequence. While you were busy maintaining your order, humanity took quantum science in directions you never considered. The chamber filled with demonstrations of Earth's quantum innovations, not weapons or ships, but medical nanobots that could cure diseases at the cellular level. Environmental systems that could terraform hostile planets in months instead of centuries. Communication networks that could bridge galaxies instantly. We hid our advancement not out of fear, Morrison explained, but because we recognize the pattern in your peaceful Federation. You don't want partners. You want subjects. First Speaker Zarek's energy form flared. You leave us no choice. The Federation cannot allow such unchecked power to exist outside your control. Sarah smiled, but there was steel in her expression. Before you make threats, you should know that we've been busy during our conversation. She activated the main display. Throughout the solar system, quantum fields shifted, revealing more of humanity's hidden infrastructure. The Dyson swarm wasn't just collecting energy. It was part of the largest quantum computer network ever constructed. While we've been talking, we've made contact with other civilizations. Those you thought you'd destroyed. Some survived. The scattered aren't just refugees. They're an alliance. And now, thanks to our quantum communication network, they're no longer scattered. The Federation representatives froze as new quantum signatures appeared across their territory. Hidden survivors of their previous purges, all connected through Earth's network, all revealing themselves simultaneously. You have 1 hour to withdraw your forces from Earth's solar system, Morrison stated calmly. After that, we will begin sharing our quantum shielding technology with every civilization in the galaxy. Your monopoly on advanced technology ends today. This is madness. Vex Thor exploded. You would destabilize centuries of order. We would end centuries of oppression. Sarah corrected. The Federation's choice is simple. Adapt to a galaxy of equals, or watch your influence disappear as other civilizations claim their independence. The Federation representatives vanished, their quantum signatures retreating. Sarah immediately turned to her controls. They'll try something desperate. Release Phase 4 protocols. Throughout the solar system, quantum defense systems activated. They weren't traditional weapons. Humanity had evolved beyond such crude tools. Instead, fields of probability manipulation surrounded Earth and its colonies, capable of redirecting any attack back upon its source. The Federation's response came within minutes. A massive fleet emerged from quantum space, weapons charged. But they found themselves facing something unprecedented. A civilization that had spent decades preparing for this exact moment. As the Federation ships opened fire, their energy weapons encountered humanity's probability fields. The attacks didn't just fail, they never technically happened. Quantum manipulation at its finest, erasing hostile actions from reality itself. Fascinating. Crittle's voice came through unexpectedly on a private channel. You've weaponized quantum uncertainty itself. We prefer to think of it as weaponizing peace, Sarah replied. Your attacks cannot succeed because, in the quantum realm we control, they have both already failed and never occurred. The Federation fleet hung motionless, their most powerful weapons rendered meaningless by human innovation. But Sarah wasn't finished. She initiated the final phase of humanity's revelation. Now, she announced on all channels, let us show you what else we've been developing. The Dyson swarm shifted, its millions of components realigning. But they weren't just solar collectors. Each was a node in the largest quantum computer ever created. As they moved, they began to generate something that should have been impossible, a controlled quantum field encompassing the entire solar system. This is your final warning, Morrison announced to the Federation fleet. You can retreat and return to negotiate as equals, or you can witness firsthand why humanity chose to hide its true capabilities for so long. The Federation ships began to withdraw, their quantum signatures fading as they fled into deep space. But Sarah knew this wasn't the end. It was merely the beginning of a new phase in galactic politics. They'll be back, Marcus said quietly. With allies. Sarah nodded, watching the quantum readings of the retreating fleet. Yes, but next time they'll face a united front. The scattered are already connecting through our network, sharing technology and information. The galaxy is about to change. In the quantum conference chamber, new signatures began to appear, representatives of the formerly scattered civilizations, ready to build a new future, a future where advancement wasn't controlled by a select few, but shared among equals. The silent stars were silent no more. Turning point. The quantum network lit up with thousands of new signatures in the days following the Federation's retreat. Sarah watched from her lunar office as civilizations across the galaxy began to emerge from hiding, each one a survivor of the Federation's peacekeeping. Another signal from the Centauri sector, Marcus reported, his hologram flickering beside her desk. 3 more colonies revealing themselves. They'd been hiding in quantum bubbles for almost a century. Sarah nodded, adding their coordinates to the growing network. The Federation's empire of fear was unraveling faster than anyone had anticipated. How many now? Over 200 distinct civilizations, Marcus replied. All with their own quantum technologies, all developed in secret. The Federation didn't just fail to destroy them. They forced them to evolve in ways no one expected. The main display showed the galaxy map, now dotted with countless points of light representing newly revealed quantum signatures. Each one represented a civilization that had learned to hide, to innovate, to survive. Director Morrison is ready for the first assembly, Marcus added. Representatives from all major survivor groups are standing by. The quantum conference chamber expanded to accommodate hundreds of different species. Some appeared as holograms, others as energy patterns, and still others in forms humanity had never encountered before. All of them had one thing in common: they had outgrown the Federation's control. "Welcome to the first quantum assembly," Morrison began, his voice translated instantly across all quantum frequencies. "Today we begin building something new. Not an empire, not a federation, but a true coalition of equals." Sarah stepped forward, activating the central display. Earth's quantum network is now connected to every civilization represented here. We're sharing our Dyson swarm technology, our quantum shielding advancements, everything. But more importantly, we're learning from you. The chamber filled with murmurs of appreciation as she continued. The Helios Consortium's temporal quantum fields, the Centauri's consciousness transfer networks, the Scattered's probability manipulation. Together, we're already far beyond what the Federation thought possible. A representative from the Helios Consortium, a being of pure quantum energy, moved forward. The Federation returns. Their fleet grows. They will not accept this change quietly. "Let them come," Sarah replied, initiating a new sequence in the quantum network. Humanity's Dyson swarm was just the beginning. Show them what you've been working on. The various representatives activated their own hidden projects. Across the galaxy, quantum fields shifted and merged. What had been separate survival projects suddenly became parts of a greater whole. The Helios Consortium's temporal shields linked with Earth's probability manipulation. The Centauri's consciousness networks expanded through the quantum grid. By forcing us into hiding, Sarah explained, the Federation created something they never intended. A galaxy of innovators, all working toward the same goal without even knowing it. Now, we work together. The assembly watched as their combined technologies created something unprecedented. A galaxy-wide quantum network, capable of instantaneous communication and coordination across vast distances. The Federation's greatest fear had become reality. Civilizations advancing beyond their control, working in harmony. But it wasn't all peaceful preparation. Deep space sensors detected Federation fleets massing at the edges of known space. They were gathering allies, preparing for what they would call a peacekeeping action, but what would really be an attempt to regain control. "They're afraid," Marcus observed, studying the tactical displays. Everything they built was based on maintaining technological superiority. Now they face a galaxy of equals, Sarah finished, each with technologies they never imagined. She turned to the assembly. "We need to be ready, not just to defend ourselves, but to show them a better way." The assembly worked through the night, sharing innovations and strategies. The Helios Consortium revealed quantum gates that could move entire star systems if necessary. The Centauri demonstrated how consciousness could be preserved through quantum networks, making conventional warfare obsolete. But it was a small, seemingly insignificant civilization that provided the most crucial innovation. The Whispered, as they called themselves, had developed a way to encode quantum information into the fabric of space-time itself. With this, Sarah explained to Morrison in a private quantum conference, we can't just hide our technologies. We can make them fundamental laws of physics within our space. Any aggressive action would literally go against the nature of reality itself. As the assembly concluded its first session, A new message arrived. The Federation Council was demanding an immediate conference. But this time, they weren't dictating terms. They were asking for them. Sarah smiled as she read the message. The Federation had finally realized the truth. Their perfect order had created exactly what they feared most: a galaxy of hidden innovation, now united and awakened. "Shall we answer them?" Marcus asked. Sarah looked at the quantum network, now pulsing with the combined knowledge and power of hundreds of civilizations. "Yes," she said. "But this time, we set the terms. And this time, we show them what real cooperation looks like." The silent stars had found their voice, and the galaxy would never be the same. New dawn. 5 years after the Federation's retreat, Sarah Chen stood in Earth's new quantum assembly hall, watching representatives from 1,000 worlds collaborate through the galaxy-wide network. The massive chamber, built inside a quantum bubble that existed partially outside normal spacetime, hummed with the energy of countless civilizations sharing knowledge and ideas. "Hard to believe it all started with a warning message," Marcus said, joining her on the observation platform. His quantum-enhanced consciousness now allowed him to be in multiple places simultaneously, coordinating projects across the galaxy while maintaining his human form on Earth. "The Scattered knew exactly what they were doing," Sarah replied, watching as a group of Federation scientists worked alongside their former victims, sharing technologies that had once been forbidden. "They didn't just warn us. They gave us the push we needed to unite the galaxy." The Federation's transformation had been the most surprising outcome of all. After their initial hostile response, a faction within their leadership had recognized the futility of their old methods. Now they were active participants in what had become known as the Great Exchange, a free sharing of knowledge and technology across all civilizations. "Latest report from the Dyson network," Marcus announced, pulling up a quantum display. "We've successfully linked 15,000 swarms across the galaxy. Total energy production is, well, the numbers don't really have meaning at this scale anymore." Sarah nodded, watching the data flow. Humanity's original Dyson swarm had been just the beginning. Now similar structures surrounded countless stars, all connected through the quantum network, all working together to power innovations that would have once seemed impossible. "The Whispered want to show us something," Marcus added. "They say it's important." In the center of the assembly hall, the mysterious species that had taught them to encode quantum information into spacetime itself created a display unlike anything Sarah had seen before. It showed the galaxy not as it appeared to normal sensors, but as it existed on the quantum level. "We see now," their collective consciousness echoed through the quantum network, "why we were all chosen, why we all survived." The display zoomed out, showing not just their galaxy, but the entire local cluster. Patterns emerged: the distribution of quantum-capable civilizations, the spacing of Dyson swarms, the layout of the network itself. It wasn't random. It formed a vast, intricate structure. "It's a quantum computer," Sarah breathed, understanding dawning. "The entire galaxy, we're building it together without even realizing it." The Whispered confirmed her realization. The Scattered did not just survive the Federation by chance. They were guided, as we all were, guided to develop the technologies needed for the next step in cosmic evolution. The assembly hall fell silent as the implications became clear. Every civilization that had survived the Federation's purges had developed a unique approach to quantum science: Earth's probability manipulation, the Helios Consortium's temporal fields, the Centauri's consciousness transfer, all of them necessary components of something greater. But guided by what? Marcus asked the question everyone was thinking. The answer came not from the Whispered, but from deep space. A quantum signal, unlike anything they had detected before, began resonating through the network. It carried with it information so vast and complex that it took the combined processing power of every Dyson swarm in the galaxy to begin decoding it. "We are the architects," the message began, translating itself simultaneously into every known language. "We seeded the galaxy with the potential for quantum advancement, knowing that only civilizations capable of cooperation and innovation would survive the challenges we placed before them. Sarah watched as the message continued, revealing truths about the nature of reality itself, the Federation's oppression, the development of quantum technology, the survival of specific civilizations. All of it had been part of a grand design, testing which species could overcome their limitations and work together. The galaxy itself is an instrument, Sarah explained to the assembled representatives, and we're all part of its awakening. The next few months brought changes that even Sarah hadn't imagined possible. The quantum network evolved beyond a mere communication tool, becoming a new layer of reality itself. Civilizations that had once hidden in fear now worked openly together, their combined knowledge accelerating development at an unprecedented rate. The Federation's former empire transformed into a network of quantum-linked worlds, each contributing its unique insights to the whole. The Dyson swarms grew more sophisticated, not just harnessing energy, but reshaping space-time itself. The scattered emerged fully from hiding, revealing themselves as the guardians of the architect's plan, watching and guiding from the shadows. 1 year later, Sarah stood in the same observation platform, but the view had changed dramatically. The quantum bubble now showed not just the assembly hall, but the entire galaxy, connected and alive with possibility. Ready for the next phase? Marcus asked, his consciousness now seamlessly linked with the quantum network. Sarah smiled, watching as new signals began arriving from neighboring galaxies. Other quantum networks, other civilizations, all part of something even greater than they had imagined. The silent stars aren't just speaking now, she said. They're singing. And we're all part of the chorus. In the vast expanse of space, the galaxy-wide quantum computer continued its work, processing the architect's grand design. Humanity had not just found its place among the stars, it had helped orchestrate a cosmic awakening. The silent stars had found their voice, and their song was just beginning.